everybody. Welcome to another episode of MSR Drive. It's Cotton. I got Falco with me. Falco, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Just waiting to clock out here at work.
Oh, playing MSR stuff while at work. I'm kind of disappointed in you. But then again, there's a spot
dedication
inside of me that's very, very happy. So
yeah, that's ultimate dedication.
So we've got somebody like super special guest today, do we not?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Taco, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. I'm glad you could join us.
Thanks for having me.
So I guess the big thing is 16-0. You're sitting there. You've got one game. Well, I mean 15-0. You've got one game left going into the playoffs. You've locked down the number one seed. Do you think you finish the season 16-0 and go into the playoffs at 16-0?
I'm gonna go with no, because it would be just like Boone to ruin this for me. So I'll probably say I'll lose a close one to Boone.
Oh man.
Now your matchup is super important on the AFC side because if Boone and Pride right now with Titans and Jaguars they're tied with the division. So if you win and Pride goes versus me, so I mean chances are he's going to win. That's a playoff implication. Are you going to play your starters or are you going to rest them?
I will probably rest Cohen just because it's Cohen and he gets injured every time he touches the ball. So Cohen will probably rest. Other than that, not unless the game gets out of hand.
Well, you lost. Oh dear Lord, one of your which linebacker did you lose last night?
Roquan Smith.
Yeah, and he's out for like a while, right? It was a shoulder tear.
Yeah, he's out 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, well, I mean, that sounds like you're getting back at least, NFC Championship then?
Yeah.
Well, that's a positive right there. So, here's the thing. Everybody, you're 15-0. Everybody's kind of like, yeah, Taco's 15-0, so what? Everybody's still the champions coming out, NFC East. That's where it's at. I mean, why do you feel like that nobody notices you're 15-0?
I don't know. Usually, I mean, like usually the times I've passed, I've had a really good record. People have been. I guess not this year though. I guess probably because J-Rod is also undefeated, and the fact that the NFC East has gone to the past like 4 Super Bowls. So that's probably a good reason why. That would probably be the 2 main reasons why, I would say.
Well, I mean, do you think that you are Super Bowl bound?
I think with how my team is built and how I play, I am all about matchups. There are most teams I don't really care if I play, but I don't know if I'll say who, but there's 2 teams that my team does not match up well with at all that I hope I don't have to face, but we shall see, I guess.
Oh, man. Are both those teams NFC East? Just give us that little hint.
No, actually, I mean, I'll tell you if you really want to know. Not both of them are not.
I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I mean,
I don't care. I'm probably sure. I'm sure it's not that. It's probably kind of obvious, a little obvious, I guess.
So who is it?
So it's not the user at all. It's based purely on the players they have. The Giants, because like I don't have enough corners to cover all of his receivers, and his receivers usually torch my corners anyway. And then J-Rod for basically the same reason. I don't have enough corners to cover all those and speed.
That is a really good point. I hadn't really thought about it like that. But because that's Tom put you out of the playoffs, last season? Or was it the season before that?
He has twice.
Dang. I
last year.
I didn't realize it was twice. That's crazy.
is the only one currently in the AFC playoff or NFC playoff picture that I do not want to face. Anyone else, I don't really care.
I like the confidence, though.
I mean, I care. Obviously, they're good users, but like, I don't want. I'd rather get you outplay me, not just because blessed my like corners like are getting torched by your receivers.
Yeah, no, I feel you there, man. I feel you there. Falco, you got anything for him?
So you told me you listened to the New Dawn podcast, and we talked a little bit about the Bears there. And I mentioned that I felt like you had the stronger resume versus the other undefeated team on the other side of the conference or of the league. Do you feel like you have the better resume?
Yes, I would say I have a better resume than them. That doesn't necessarily think I have a better team, but I think I have a better resume.
I kind of have to agree with Taco. I think the people that he's played and how he's played them is a little bit more impressive, just for the simple fact that when you look at like every division in the NFC, there's an opportunity for an 11-win team not to make the playoffs. If you look at the AFC side, there's a division that like you could literally go 8-8 and win. It's just not. It's not the same. I think the NFC has more talented players than the AFC.
Yeah,
nothing against the AFC. It's just that the NFC stacked, and that's just how it happened to be.
Yeah, that's one thing that blew my mind when I was comparing the two teams while I was doing research on for New Down Podcast. Was there was only 5 teams above 500 in the AFC. In the NFC you have a lot more than that. Now, Taco, do you feel like that prepared you for the playoffs?
Not any more than just any other schedule would. I mean, either way, I know who everyone I would face. I've already played. There's no one that like there's a new team that is making the playoffs. So everyone I've already played, I already know how they play. So, and most people have roughly the same team. So I wouldn't say it's prepared me any better than any other schedule if I played an AFC schedule.
I mean, that's a good point. He's right. There isn't anybody new just like randomly showing up in the playoffs on the NFC side. You're going to end up with the 2 wild cards out of the East again. So you've got Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. You've got the Saints maybe make the playoffs. I think they're kind of like winning that division. Is the Falcons winning the division right now?
Yeah. Falcons are winning the division right now. There's a huge matchup. I guess Week 17 is going to be they play each other, I believe.
Okay. Well, if the Falcons go in, that's like a new team. But like Taco said, there's not like a top dog team that's coming in that he doesn't know and isn't prepared to play. Yeah. And like look at the AFC side, you've got Boone and J-Rod at 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Now, unless again, things change, like Taco beats Boone and Pride beats me. I think Pride jumps up to number 2. It's a little muddy up top in the AFC.
Okay, but I mean, it's just like there's not. J-Rod's like the dominant force on that side. Like there's nothing AFC side that just like makes you go, Jesus, anybody could win. It's like nobody can beat J-Rod. It doesn't matter. So that kind of goes back to the Taco saying the 2 teams he doesn't match up with well is like J-Rod and Tom. So obviously he hopes that like some crazy way that somebody knocks off J-Rod. But like, okay, Taco, let's look into the future and pretend like we know exactly that you and J-Rod both go with the Super Bowl. You're both undefeated. Like, what's like the one thing that you feel like that you have that puts you over the top of J-Rod?
I mean, if you go based on my roster, I guess nothing. His team at every position, whatever I have, he is better. So I wouldn't say that. The only other thing the only thing I guess I would is that I feel like most people that he's played in the Super Bowl so far don't have a lot of playoff experience, or even just in the playoffs don't have a lot of playoff experience. So I would say I do have more than him in MSR, I guess, but that's only because I've been here longer. But I would just say it'd be someone that's new. Like last year he played Tom. Tom's never been to the Super Bowl, so I'm sure that didn't help Tom. I've been there plenty of times, so that's not something I would have to worry about.
Yeah. All right. No, I feel you there. So, Trubisky is in the talks for MVP again. Do you think he deserves it more than the other two that were mentioned in the MSR league tweet that came out?
Remind me, who was the other two mentioned in the tweet?
Joey Johnson and Andrew Luck, I believe.
All right. I'm gonna go with yes, only because, well, only if, because I don't know if they are or not. Only if the Vikings don't make the playoffs. If the Vikings make it, I think you're out, but I'm not sure. If you have a chance, or if you make it somehow, I would give it to Joey Johnson. If you don't, I would definitely give it to Trubisky. I think he is by far, those are the only two that are close, other than maybe Wentz. I would put Wentz over Luck too, by the way.
Dang, all right. I can see it though. I can see it. But no, I like the honesty though. I feel like Trubs. I mean, like you play with Trubisky better than anybody could use Trubisky. So I mean, there's that.
Oh yeah.
Because I've played with the Bears online before, and like Trubisky just sells things, and I'm just like, I don't get it. So, but now if I remember right, you're a pretty big Bears fan though, right?
I am, yes.
So you've been like playing with Trubisky is not something that's like unnatural. I mean, you've done it a ton, so that probably helps a whole lot too.
I mean, I usually don't like playing with the Bears because they disappoint me in real life. I don't want them to disappoint me in Madden too.
Oh man, that is too funny, dude. But I will say this: I've been in your division all year. I beat you once. It's not fun to play you at all. I feel bad for anybody in the playoffs who plays you right now. I feel like you're on the roll and on the track for an absolute tear. I think you go to the Super Bowl, and I think you and J-Rod both go to the Super Bowl undefeated, and I think you take it it would be the first fully undefeated season in MSR history, right?
No, there's been one.
There's been one. So you be number two. You be the first loser. I mean, I'm just playing. You can be the second one ever to it.
Yes.
But no, I think you can. That team is ridiculous. I play you a lot more than some of the other guys do, just for the simple fact that we're in a division, and I don't see any reason you don't win.
I mean, that's the plan, I guess I should say.
Okay. Well, Taco, is there anything you want to leave us with?
I just go back to Trubisky winning MVP. Why I think he wins it? The reason I think Trubisky is because, one, I don't have Tyreek Hill, Odell. You look at even Wentz, he's got Isaiah McKenzie. I don't have obviously I have Allen Robinson. So, yes, I do have one. But outside of him, I don't have, Trubisky ain't got no crazy good weapons. I mean, my second leading receiver is a 75 overall normal dev guy that I picked out of free agency in the preseason. Trubisky doesn't have any. If you look at all of Trubisky's abilities, they're like leap. None of them are passing except for his X Factor, which I never use because it's pointless. That and the fact that, obviously I'm a pass-heavy team, and because I don't want to give Cohen the ball more than 10 times a game because I don't want him to get hurt, I'm basically throwing it 30-plus times a game. So, I don't know. At least in my opinion, assuming the Vikings don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I don't have a whole lot of argument for that. I posted in chat the other night that like Joey winning Madden, like the video games MVP right now, is like a participation trophy because I had a chance to actually make the playoffs and just blew it this season. So I can understand why a 16-0 quarterback wins the MVP over a 9-7 running back that had a ridiculous year. So I get that. Falco, you got anything, buddy?
No, just wanted to add to the Trubisky argument. With all those pass-heavy attempts, he's firing at a 77% completion percentage. That's ridiculous. So my hat's off to you, Taco. That's crazy.
No, I agree. I guess my whole takeaway from this situation is, I have Joey. Normally you would think that I'd be super biased. I'm not making the playoffs, so I think that should be thrown into that mix too whenever they talk about it. I think the yardage is ridiculous. He had over 3,000 yards. He has 37 touchdowns or something crazy like that, and the single game rushing record is like 356 now. But the thing is, all that's great and good. I'm not going to the playoffs. He's sitting at home watching the other two MVP candidates play. Now, given that Joey Johnson can't play defensive back for me, he'd probably be better than the ones that I have. But it is what it is, and I understand where Taco's coming from. So, but anyways, dude, Taco, I appreciate it, man. I know it was kind of spur of the moment getting you on today, but I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, we really appreciate it, man. Everybody, be safe, socially isolate, just be smart. Let's try and nip this stuff in the bud so we can have a normal life and have a normal football season. The draft is already supposed to be, through Skype calls. So let's try and end this so we can have a football season. I appreciate it, guys. We'll catch y'all later.